ADHD brains may love novelty, but here's 7 crazy cool things you're missing out on if you're skipping reflection, and yes, they are costing you progress. Number 1, mastery equals less effort and more results. If you've already done the reps to learn something, which is the hardest part, and start the integration, which is the second hardest part, going back to actually review and reflect what you already learned helps level up your level of mastery, which creates better results with less effort from your brain. Basically, when you take time to reflect on what you've learned, you achieve a higher level of mastery, which means things get easier and they make a bigger impact. Number 2, cross-pollination. That brilliant concept that you learned, there may be ways to apply that across marketing, operations, HR, and possibly even like your marriage or personal relationships. But unless you take time to step back and reevaluate that thing from that perspective of looking at how do I apply this in multiple ways, you're probably going to have a hard time figuring out how to apply it in multiple ways. Which, side note, let's tie this back to number 1, because once you learn how to take a concept and apply it across multiple areas of your life, your level of mastery grows, which means you get things done easier and better. Number 3 is next level understanding. Now, this ties in slightly with our cross-pollination idea, because once you start to cross-pollinate your ideas and you start to apply them across multiple areas of your life and your business, you start to see patterns. And so as you are applying it across multiple areas, you will see, like, what is it that makes this thing work? And that is where the real magic happens. When I was in high school and in college, I was an English tutor. And as an English tutor, I not only learned like the basics of when and where to put a comma, but I also learned when and where you could get creative with your punctuation and still fit inside the rules and the patterns of how to make things legible, readable, and understandable, but also start to take it to a next level of like being able to do things that most people wouldn't even think of. Number 4 is faster decision making. When we take time to reflect, we reach a new level of clarity. We can identify what worked and what didn't necessarily work. So our brain doesn't necessarily have to guess. It has more information to make a decision based on for the next time, which means we can make that decision a lot quicker and start to avoid some of that decision fatigue. Number 5, emotional momentum. ADHD brains often struggle with feeling like we're not doing enough, and taking time to reflect will remind you of how far you've come, because here's what I can promise you. Even if you haven't taken time to reflect, you've taken the original idea and started applying it, and you've learned how to do it better and better. And so being able to go back and look at, here was the original idea, here's how far we've taken it already, can become incredibly motivational, create some momentum for you, and build that emotional resilience. Number 6, reflection can help clarify your identity. We're all evolving every single day, but taking time to look back on who we were, and sometimes that's looking back on a book we read, a video we watched a long time ago, will allow us to evaluate who we were back then versus who we are today, and what has evolved, what has shifted, and how that is influencing who we are today, i.e. our identity. And last but not least, reflection allows you to create tighter messaging and a clearer vision. You've collected a lot of golden nuggets over time, but a lot of them have gotten a little bit blurry. Maybe they've gathered dust, maybe they've been sitting on the shelf, and they made a big difference for you once upon a time, but you haven't really taken them out to look at them again recently. Reflection not only gives you the chance to sit back and look at them again, clear them off, and let everyone else see them, it also helps you distill things down a little bit more so that you are able to communicate it clearer to people. And when you can communicate things clearer to people, they come on board a lot quicker. You are able to get a larger group of community that wants to work with and support you. I understand that for the ADHD brain, reflection can feel like agony a little bit. Trust me, been there, done that. But it's important to remember that reflection isn't necessarily about slowing down. Reflection, when it's done intentionally, becomes something where you're not just watching a video that you remember the highlights of, but that you get the chance to see what came around that highlight, so that you can then figure out how to elevate that one concept you took away and apply it even better, even further. You can clarify what you're working on. You can build momentum and resilience. You can make faster decisions. You get further by taking time to reflect. And that is something that I don't think enough of us prioritize in this world where everything is happening in 30-second increments. Want to learn to lean into reflection a little bit more? We've got the perfect thing for you. Check out the description to learn more.